So the CBC leadership not only gave direction to refrain from calling Hamas a terrorist organization, which it is, based on a decision made by the Canadian government in 2007, more than 20 years ago, but also,
15 years ago.
Sorry, I said 2007. You're right. My apologies. My apologies. Let me correct the record. So the CBC leadership gave direction to not call Hamas a terrorist organization, which is based on which the government of Canada actually has declared it a terrorist organization officially more than 20 years ago. And so that decision is known. That is an official decision made by the Canadian government. That is not something that is up for debate. That is fact. So for the CBC to give that directive is alarming. Further to that, then, the CBC just recently ran with a story accusing Israel of the attack on a hospital. They did not verify the facts. They did not take the time to get the story correct. Instead, they just took information that was fed to them by Hamas and they pushed it out the door. Only moments later, they then had to retract the title of their story and misleading information within it because they had new information and because Canadians held them accountable and pushed back on their lies. But for a public broadcaster to take over $1 billion and use that taxpayer money to propagate a false narrative fed by Hamas is absolutely deplorable. And so it is incumbent upon this committee to hold the CBC to account and to make sure that Canadians are being given accurate information. And the reason this is so important is because when false information is put out there, it is damaging to the Israeli people, it is damaging to the Canadian public, it is damaging to the relationship between Canada and Israel, and it is damaging to journalists who do good work but are now not trusted because some people at the CBC have determined that it's in their best interest to purport lies. Mistrust is at an all-time high. The CBC is publicly funded. They have a responsibility to get it right. And to be on the side of the terrorists is wrong. It is the wrong side to be on. So shame on them, and shame on us if we don't take the time to hold them to account. And also, Chair, shame on Mr. Normand.
Point of order, Madam Chair.
Laughing.
This entire rant, as a Muslim member of this committee, the entire rant, she has been looking at me, directing her comments about Hamas to me, and I have had just about enough of it, Madam Chair. And that comment is an exact example of the Islamophobia in this place that people like Ms. Thomas continue to perpetuate.
Ms. Thomas, I would like to ask you to be careful of your choice of words when you're referring to members of the committee personally.
Madam Chair, I take your caution. Thank you. For the record, there's a camera here, and it happens to be in front of the member who just spoke. And if he wishes to not be there, he is welcome to move where he would then be out of my eyesight. But that is his responsibility to do.
Ms. Thomas, you named him. I'm sorry, I have to call you on that.